What exercise, a book page, a groove from a song, or something concrete, drumming-wise, meant a before and after in your learning experience? That thing that was a big boost in your playing.
Yeah, the thing that really changed everything for me, when I was 18, I had a lesson with a drummer called Dave Cutler. And Dave had just come back from Berklee School of Music. He'd been there for 3 years. It was my dream to go to Berklee School of Music, but we're talking about 1979, 1980, 1981, that sort of time. There was nothing like that available in the United Kingdom. And for that kind of school, really Berklee or PIT in Los Angeles were really the only two that I knew of. Anyway, I couldn't have afforded to go anyway, but I heard about this drummer, Dave Cutler, and he was giving lessons in London, and I went to see him, and he showed me the Ted Reed syncopation book and some of the systems that you can apply to the Ted Reed system, the Ted Reed reading. Now, what was interesting for me is that it was a concept, and I'd never really worked on a concept before. Every book, everything I'd studied before was already written out. I just had to play it. And Dave, you know, the first lesson I had with Dave, he said, okay, look at this music. I want you to play it, interpret it as swing. And I said, well, what does that mean? And he said, well, okay, it looks like this, but that's not what you're going to play. You're going to play the syncopated rhythm, but interpreting as swing. So that was the first problem. The second problem was coordination, that the way he asked me to play these exercises were beyond my coordination ability at the time. And he showed me a set of exercises based upon the 8 pages of syncopation from Ted Reed's book. And he just said, look, don't come back next week. Come back when you can do it. And so I went home with, you know, my mind was blown. And I realized this is going to take me a long while to play this. But I think two things I think I had was I was very observational as a child. I could notice small things. You know, I could observe detail very well. And the other thing was that I was very determined. So when he said to me, look, don't come back next week, come back when you can do it, it was a bit of a slap in the face. And I thought, okay, I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you this. I'm going to show you this. I'm going to shove it to you. And I went home and I practiced it for 3 months before I could play it. And the interesting thing was that, you know, I said to him, listen, I'm very curious about your other students. How long did it take your other students to play this? And he said, you're the only one who ever came back. So that, to answer your question, that book, together with the idea of the original concepts that Dave Cutler showed me, and then I began making my own concepts, and I still do now, based on the Ted Reed syncopation, because really the Ted Reed syncopation book, if you look at it, is kind of binary. You know, there's notes that are on and there's notes that are not on, that, you know, the rests or the note value is where you could think, I'm not going to play. Or maybe you just play in between the notes, and you start to realize there's a whole world of possibilities based on the, so really that lesson, that first lesson I had with him based on those syncopation exercises were the moment that I really grew up and realized this is what I need to do to become good. I think I only ever had about 10 lessons with him over 2 or 3 years, but each lesson required so much homework for me to get the point and to get to the level that I could play what he showed me. he was right. There was no point going back the next week because I wouldn't be ready.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Gavin. Just one page of the syncopation book is a word, a system.
Yeah,